Hi, welcome to this monthly edition of Crypto Opportunities. I'm your host, Taz, and we are an investor and trader information and education service giving you a unique perspective that you can actually profit from. We hold this session on the last Saturday of every month at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live in our virtual investment and trading community room. So welcome to you. Crypto Opportunities focus on evolving opportunities in the most exciting markets in the world by following the trail of big money, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, really. So stick with us, fasten your seatbelts, things are about to get exciting. Please note, we're not an investment advisor or a type company or financial advisors. We're purely an educational service that offers actionable information to actually profit from, believe it or not. We don't follow benchmarks and lose money for you and then pat ourselves on the back, in other words. Discuss any financial decisions. That's not what we do so do that with your financial advisor before taking on any risk that may impact your bottom line negatively. Let's tell you what you can expect today with us. Here it is. Well, we're going to kick off now with a little bit of a basically highlights and market health commentary that's going to help you. We're going to discuss the concept of, are we still in a bear market, and what do we see in the weeks and the months to come. And of course, we do all this by following big money, truly following big money, and not just metrics that you'll hear on CNBC and all the other news agencies, which really don't help the retail investors like you and I. So yeah, let's review. So what have we been up to as an investment and trading community this past month? Can't believe it's a month already since we last had this kind of session. Well, are we still in a bear market? Yes, we are. And I'll show you some technical charts a little bit later, why that is and what it is that we expect moving forward. Let's talk about some other things that we've highlighted as interest over the last while. Just one of many examples. Obviously, we have so many different things we cover. But at Crypto Opportunities, we cover opportunities related to innovation being pioneered by markets like crypto, for instance, in this case. Sometimes that opportunity is not obvious to most folks. For example, we covered a company that will not only profit from crypto, but from a broader investment pivot that is taking place in the area of metaverse. We brought an opportunity to our traders and investors and called out exactly how we were playing it. We played the opportunity, in this case, Matterport, a subscription software business. We were super bullish. We always watch big money moves, of course, and are not fundamental investors at all. So if you looked at fundamentals, they may not stack up, because we simply believe you can be right about fundamentals and wrong about timing, and therefore still lose money, which happens to retail investors every day because they do not understand how to position and when by following big money like we do. Okay, Taya, so what was the result? I hear you say. Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, the result was 481% and 419% in one day, after the underlying stock moved 32.92%. We did this by positioning and by scaling in and out of our position within 35 days. As you can see, this was shared with our subscribers every step of the way. We did this because we monitor very particular data pathways that are effectively an infrared lamp on a pathway, so we can see the footsteps of big money with clarity, which is essentially those footprints are invisible to retail investors that don't know what we know as retail investors. Yes, retail investors like you and I, not institutions, but we follow the money with our little infrared, call it goggles on. Yes, it's unfair, but not really. The information is there for everyone. But what's not there actually is the knowledge of how to use it and when. That's our specialty. We also know how to cut losing trades short and reposition our positions so that our winning trades exceed losses. For example, we typically cut losers at 15 to 1 reward to risk, i.e. for every 15 bucks made, we know we lose a buck. We also focus on 3 positions at a time. So we may lose $1 and one will make money, like 15 bucks in our example here with MTTR. We had some other things, where we cut those losses, but in the whole, really great results by following big money. Hey, you might be looking at this on your screen right now, and you might be thinking like Otis did. You may have asked why more folks don't give you such valuable information. Well, you don't know what you don't know, right? So we kind of just monitor big money, and we can see things. We're not really geniuses, but certain pictures start building out. And well, most folks don't know this, but that's what we do. Or you might be like Denny. Many subscribers noted our trading and investing timing positioning are spot on, but that's only because of experience following big money, like I said earlier. Well, like JR and Denny, they note that complex ideas are discussed in the room, but you don't need to understand those complex ideas. They're covered as background, and the ideas are put into easy to follow, actionable ideas, like our example with Matterport. We was ultimately take complex ideas and simplify it into bite-sized, actionable steps that everyone can take. Like E-Man, who commented on a boot camp we actually did not too long ago. So we decided to run that. We don't always run that, but we knew that our investment communities wanted that. And he said that his personal trading improved by a factor of 10 times. Well, I can only assume that means his bottom line improved. No, not that bottom. Thanks, E-Man. Was a great comment. We've had others that have said in Trustpilot, independently stated this on Trustpilot. Obviously, we don't um, control those comments, and you can go check those out. Like Paul, who said we demystify. Well, we don't just demystify crypto, but basically the theme around investment opportunities and trading it, and of course, navigating, in this case, a technical environment, which happens to be crypto right now. Crypto's the future. We've heard, of course, losing fear with crypto opportunities simply because we try and we take those complex terms and make it easy for everybody else. And thanks to folks like Jason, who thinks we give unrivaled crypto technical analysis and alpha to help you. In other words, good information that's actionable. Or Anna, who basically said we had an intense, enlightening educational week in our boot camp that we gave. These are just some of the things and community events that we hold, but everything we do, we want to do for you, to bring you complex information that you can profit from, not just the super rich companies out there or the big players like Goldman Sachs, stuff we always read and think, oh, wow, why is it them just making the money? I do love what Bryce said. Extremely helpful and patient teachers for any level of trader or investor. Very seasoned pros have a gift turning very technical and fundamental analysis into easily digestible processes to help your trading objectives. Always entertaining as well. Well, we hope so anyway. Those are what our subscribers, our community think, and they are ultimately why we're here. And well, we love them for it, and we hope you can join us too in our services, in our crypto room. Basically, we cover a lot more than just crypto, knowledge around that system, that ecosystem, let's call it, and of course, opportunities. But let's move on to why you're actually here. Let's take a look at the markets right now. Let's take a look at where we are now, what we expect in the next weeks, maybe even months to come. Of course, we monitor these things on a daily basis, and we make it clear what timeframes we're looking at in our community room, open to our subscribers, and it becomes a lot clearer and easy. And of course, we have question time all the time. You can always ask questions if something's not clear. That's what the beauty is of our community. So where are we right now? Well, when we look at a number of charts out there, we still believe that we are in a bear market, and I'm about to show you why. We're going to go through some technical charts, and you are going to see what it is that I actually mean by a bear market. Now, what's really funny, of course, is sometimes folks always struggle around definitions. Like they'll define what a bear market is for 6 years. We don't care. They'll decide or discuss what inflation is, whether it's there or not. Again, we don't care. They'll discuss so many things and go roundabout on definitions. What we really care about is following the big money to make money, right? Had an interesting chat on Twitter with a chap. He's typically an institutionalized investor talking about treasury bonds, and we haven't seen treasuries move, and Basically, as retail investors, we don't care. We just want to make money, right? We want to profit. So I had to tell him a few things based on the things we know, and that is that volatility will be rising in the weeks to come. That means that risk assets will fall. So let's take a look at this. This is a triple layout chart, essentially. And I'm going to highlight something for you right now. Over here, you can see Bitcoin to the US dollar, and this time frame is taken on a one-day chart. In other words, opens and closes on a daily basis. In this case, it's crypto. So crypto is a 24-hour market, and they've had to close these candles, at a certain time. We've got ways and means to track when that daily close happens, weekly, etc. We cover that in our room. But the point about this is Bitcoin's chart, and looking relatively weak at this particular moment in time. In a consolidation, but not able to have a decent, strong breakout. And just recently, over the last number of days, coming down as a market, obviously still in a range, nothing to be massively concerned about right now. But we are watching this price level here, and therefore bearish below $18,000 on Bitcoin, because we believe that there is a pocket all the way down to 12,500 that definitely can be filled. Equally, if we break out, above 25,000, we have got a pocket of interest that is up as high as 30,000 before we reach resistance. So right now, we're in a chop shop type area, I like to call it. In other words, this is the place where people lose more money than it's worth. High risk area, and not something we're interested in. But it's not looking good for Bitcoin, the market called Bitcoin. As we always say, there's no such thing as the market. There's a market. In this case, we're looking at a market called Bitcoin to the US dollar. Each chart, essentially, being a market. So Ethereum to the US dollar, another market we look at, looking a lot stronger than Bitcoin. Now, again, you may have heard in the news and other places how, Bitcoin is the king, and well, you can debate that forever. Again, we're not maxis, as they call them in the crypto space. We just take what we see in the data, and we extract our opinions based on that observation rather than emotion. And so in this case, Ethereum is actually a lot stronger than Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin is trapped in a range where Ethereum has broken out of this range and is actually currently testing that breakout right now. So it's actually showed strength by having a breakout where Bitcoin really hasn't at this time. And of course, there's many reasons for that. One of them is something that we covered, and I'll kind of flash through that now. What has been leading to this bullishness, relative bullishness, okay? So most people think bullish means the price goes up forever and ever. It just means relative, as in, from this case, it actually broke out of a range. That's showing strength. Now, over here, we can see the crypto top 30, and basically it looks like Bitcoin in a way, or in fact, over here, it looks more like Ethereum, so to speak, because look, it's also broken out of a range and is consolidating. Now, you'd say, but Taz, this chart looks almost identical to this one, yet this is the top 30 cryptos, and this is Ethereum. Well, the reason for that is, and as we've said, the majority of alternate cryptos, i.e. ones that aren't Bitcoin, actually sit on the Ethereum network. So you can see the top 30 reflecting the movement of Ethereum. And therefore, well, you can take from that what you want to, but that's what we see happening. Another thing we look at, S&P 500 is below large money orders, i.e. from the dark pool, as they call it. Basically, what that is the institutional stock exchanges where big money places their trades, not open to retail investors. Yet we can see what they're doing, not whether they're buying or selling, but where they are interested and place their orders. And we have an expertise in that area. So what we see over here, this is the US government 10-year treasury yield over here. We saw just recently this rise. We saw volatility drop. Okay, and now recently rising, and of course, with the rise in yields and the rise in volatility, we have seen the stock market come down. And in other words, they have a negative correlation. if volatility goes up, the stock market and, of course, the crypto markets come down, because we see that there is correlation. Okay, so we expect there may be a bounce after this huge move down. We've hit an area over here where we may bounce off on the S&P 500. Around $400 is a major price level. So we may just see a bounce off that $400 area on the SPY, in this case, an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. And in that case, of course, I'm sure we might have a little rally, or we could just break straight through that $400 and the weakness can continue. So that would be normal. In other words, a bull market doesn't go in a straight line up all the time. It can look something like this. And a bear market equally doesn't go down all the time, as we see here. Believe it or not, this structure is actually from a bear market structure. And you say, well, why is it going up like this so strong if this is a bear market? Confuses a lot of people, but let me show you another chart. We believe this trend will continue over the coming weeks, by the way, in the broader stock markets. This is the S&P 500, and you can see that this over here is a channel. And basically, since the 4th of January, the stock market and general markets have been going down, although, of course, they've had price moves that have been down and up. We're still in a bear market. And you'll note that this massive show of strength of a move really did fool a lot of people. But look what happened here. Came to the top of a bearish channel and, well, yes, it's resistance, very strong and powerful resistance, and we've moved down, and in this case, strongly down, which shows me and with other confirmation that we're seeing by big money that, well, this bear market isn't over. Doesn't matter what the press says. We don't really care. The data is pretty obvious here. We know that Wall Street Journal and others may want to say that the stock market is bullish, but that's not what we see when we look at the orders placed by big money themselves, and then, of course, the ensuing price action that basically just follows the decisions they've already made. That's why we have that advantage, because we can see the decisions being made before the price reacts. Okay, we've seen that big money in this move started selling out already. That eventually led to this move. Of course, most retail investors will see this as bullish, keep buying, thinking that this is what's going to happen. And meantime, that happens. That's the advantage we have as cryptopunities and how to navigate the crypto markets essentially. Let's take a look at one more chart, the global top 30 of the crypto market. That's the top 30 cryptos, as they call them, or cryptocurrencies, erroneously called, whatever. Anyway, that's the top 30, number one being Bitcoin, number two being Ethereum, etc., etc. Well, this blue line over here is known as a weighted average price, a VWAP, a volume weighted average price. Okay, that's basically from a volume perspective where the price average is. Well, you can see that crypto clearly is way below that average, okay, since January, once again. So you can see that we're in a weakness state right now. Under the VWAP is weak. It shows weakness, and we're in a bear channel. This is a bearish market, okay? And we haven't seen that break out of this bearish market to establish new highs and therefore a new bullish market. Not yet anyway. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but we haven't seen it yet. So, you know, you can be correct eventually about the market going up, place yourself trade-wise, and lose a fortune in the meantime, and eventually be right one day. That's not how to operate as a trader or investor. So this is Bitcoin on a daily chart, right? We've marked an area of interest. That's the blue line over here. Okay, if we cannot resolve this box over here, which basically shows us a price range, albeit a big range, from about 18,000 to about 24 or so. This is just one big range, a chop shop, like you get guillotine when you buy here thinking it's going to go higher, then it goes down and you sell, then you buy again when it goes higher, and you just lose money in the process. Well, the area of interest to us on the breakdown, of course, is this area here, $12,500. In other words, yes, it's possible in this climate, if this bearishness continues and volatility increases, for Bitcoin to go down further. Of course, we can always have a show of strength in the market. This bear channel negated by higher highs in price and eventually Bitcoin falling with a move up. But there's a major resistance area in the area of 30,000, 36,000 over here anyway. So we could move up to it and bounce down violently as Bitcoin likes to do. Of course, in our room, we have basically a model portfolio of the best opportunities available. And we've actually gone and looked at the volatility of each one of those positions, the dollars that we put into each one, and that gives us an equal risk basically balance. And again, this is a model portfolio, but it's performed exceedingly well because we understand the timing of the markets, which most retail investors actually miss. So this is available to our subscribers. Drop that in the room. We update it, and they know what we're following and how to position, how we are positioning that model portfolio. Free to take up that information with their financial advisors and use it as they will. Remember, we educate and provide imperative, critical, and extremely valuable information. Now, for the exciting part. How many in the room that are live with us today on Saturday are excited about this part? You should be. This is the interest piece. So if I could get some yeses. Yeah, there we have a yes from Ricky. Anyone else? Arla, of course, massively excited and happy to hear this part. Well, we've been discussing Ethereum. And, recently or just a little bit earlier in today's session, I told you that Bitcoin was weak in comparison to Ethereum at this moment in time. And of course, there was a real technical reason that we took our subscribers through. Basically got to do with a merge that's happening, and it's got some implications to that ecosystem and to the greater digital economy that people don't understand. And of course, we took our subscribers through a bunch of metrics. Again, most popular NFT collections that you can know or invest in. Well, open to subscribers, of course, and we just keep them updated all the time. So we went through questions like, is it a deflationary? What's going to happen when that changes? And of course, it's this massive cutover to Ethereum 2.0 that's led to relative strength in Ethereum. Not saying it lasts forever, but certainly that's what's happened recently. And of course, we place to take advantage. But one thing I do want to show, and essentially, of course, everything that's happening in that community, in that crypto community, in that ecosystem is bigger than you could possibly imagine, and it's big for a specific reason. Something we cover in a thesis we've got called The Barons and the Kings, of course, is we've been able to call how the regulators will move, what it is they'll do, what will be stopped, what won't be stopped, what will thrive in the crypto market, according to that framework that we have. And well, to date, we've been pretty accurate on where the value will be. I remember one of our subscribers, Ricky, placing himself in a investment in the Ethereum environment at the right time, of course, and exited at the right time. And he had basically doubled his initial investment. And that was just based on information that he had gathered out of our community room. So now, well, let's actually look at something else. Now, if anyone's ever dealt with Ethereum and the greater crypto space, you'll note something really annoying. Um, there are alphanumeric wallet addresses. It's like taking your physical wallet out of your pocket, but this is digital, or it's like a bank account in the digital economy. Except instead of having a simple little, numerical bank account with a sort code to it or a branch code to it, it's got this ridiculous alphanumeric address that I don't know about you, but I certainly can't remember mine. So if you wanted to send money into it or from it, half the time you get lost. Well, something's just happened and being made available to us as retail investors. Think about it from this perspective. Imagine having a car and it's got that ridiculous number plate that's also alphanumeric, means nothing to anyone. And then you can personalize it so people know who you are. You can basically have Taz on the back of your number plate. Don't have Taz, that's my name. Have your own name, personalize it, but the fact is personalized number plates. Well, let's talk about how you can register an Ethereum name. So Taz, who cares? Why would I want to do that? Well, for those that have had the fun of opening an Ethereum wallet, you may have noticed that your wallet address is in a ridiculously complicated alphanumeric format. So when you want to send some Ethereum to it, or you want to give someone your wallet address, it's crazy complex. But what if you could personalize it like a personalized number plate? Because you could take it from that. Yeah, that's an address. You could take it to that. Johnny.eth, cool.eth, Mary.eth, Taz.eth, anything.eth you want. And basically you can send over, well, dozens and even hundreds of currencies, fiat and crypto, to your new address. Instead of this address, you can send it to this address. In other words, you could send Ethereum to these addresses once you've registered them, if they belong to you, of course. This is just an example. You could send fiat US dollars in the form of USDC to these addresses too. Yeah, now you're starting to get it. About 60% plus of the crypto space and digital economy is built on the Ethereum network. And that's why what I'm showing you now is mind-blowing. Hopefully by the end of this, you'll get that. And now I'm going to show you how to do that. Would you like to see, folks in the room, how you can go from this to this? Well, we got yeses now and real excitement. I'm sure those that are listening to this are equally excited. I am. And the reason for it, well, it's far broader than sending money from instead of to something that looks like this to something that looks like this. It is basically the entire new digital financial way of operating for today, but particularly for the future. They are rewriting the entire fiat system into digital, and USDC is a big part of that. You'll now be able to receive personalized to your own little domain space Ethereum based wallet. Well, without further ado, we're going to talk you through the steps, right? These steps, step-by-step instructions on how to instantly register a name, a .eth name, with the official ENS Manager app. This will mean in practice, instead of sending Ethereum to a complex 42-character hexadecimal address like the one you see there, you can send it to the green one. So let's take a look at how. Well, step one, open your Ethereum enabled browser. On your desktop, this could be Chrome with the extension MetaMask, or the browser Brave with its crypto wallet enabled. On a mobile phone, this could be Trust Wallet, Coinbase Wallet, Status, MetaMask Mobile, or another mobile Ethereum browser. Let's assume, though, for the sake of this exercise, you're using a MetaMask in a desktop browser. In this case, Chrome, you go to settings in Chrome and you'll see extensions, and you need to, of course, have the MetaMask extension, which you can get over here. Chrome, Google, Chrome Web Store, search for MetaMask. You'll see this. You click on it and you say add extension. Therefore, when you open your browser, your Chrome browser, you will now have a MetaMask extension that's going to help you with what we're about to discuss. Also, you must be signed into your Ethereum browser. Nowadays, like you can see, I've signed into this browser, okay, CryptoTunities. So you're in this browser as CryptoTunities and not just using it as a guest. In other words, not hard to do is number one, the first thing. Or, though you can set it to resolve to a different wallet or transfer ownership at a later date. And you must have at least a small amount of Ethereum in your wallet, in your MetaMask wallet, to pay the transaction cost for registering this name and your first year's annual fee. You might ask how much that is. I'm glad you asked. It's not a lot. It's $8 for a year at the moment, because fees are really cheap on Ethereum in this crypto winter. That's why I'm telling you about this now when it's cheap to do. You can actually register 5 years for like $28. So it's not difficult. A couple of cups of coffee and you've just entered the new digital economy and are ready to receive your cash and transact in this new digital age. Well, let's take a look then. Step two, navigate to the ENS manager. Over here, you'll see it. https://app.ens.domains/. Okay, this is Ethereum's actual name service application on a web browser. So, we don't own it. We all go there. Of course, we don't own Ethereum either. It's a massive blockchain, one of the biggest in the world, to the tune of billions, and lots of money flows into and out of this network. It is a new digital economy, the biggest in the world at this time. So in your browser, go to manager.ens.domains. Okay. Bookmark this page, folks. That's a very important pointer. Bookmark it so that in future you go straight to this site and aren't conned. If you click this little lock over here and you check the digital certificate, it must be registered to ENS domains and not, Johnny or some weird entity, because that could be a con site. So that's why you use this actual domain address. And once you have put it in and you got to the right page, the authentic page, which is this, then you bookmark it so in future you don't just Google for this ENS domain space, because you could be led astray somewhere else. Security is always important to us at Cryptotunity, so our subscribers don't get conned. We always do information and security pieces to make sure they aren't taken for a ride. And very happy to say a lot of our subscribers have been saved from a lot of pain, getting conned, because they've listened to that kind of advice that we give. So bookmark the page, because it'll be the easiest way for you to manage your Ethereum names from now on. Yeah, remember, once you've registered your names, you can manage them, add things, change it up, and just have a lot of flexibility in the new digital economy. So let's move on. Now, let's go to step 3. So now what you can do is you're going to go to the search field that you see on the page, and, well, you're going to type in the search field the name that you want to register, like Johnny search. And, well, if it's available, you can own it. If it's not, you can't. So this allows you upfront to see if that name that you want is taken or available. Isn't that simple? So what will happen then is you click the search button. If the name's already registered by someone else, you will see a page with information about the name's ENS records. It will look like this. So you'll see, oh no, that Ethereum name is already taken by this entity. There it is, an Ethereum wallet address. So that wallet address owns the name you're trying to get. And that's fine. If the name's already registered by someone else, you'll see that page with information about the name's records. But if it's not taken, you can move on to the next steps. Is this interesting, folks in the room? Is this exciting? I was so thrilled that I could register names of simplicity to operate in the new digital economy without ridiculously difficult process. Well, if this name's available, you'll see a page asking you for how long you would like to register the name for, like this. You can see over here, you can click this little plus button and increase the years you want to register to yourself for. At this morning, 1 year was $8.47. That can change daily, of course. And in peak seasons on Ethereum, you're going to pay a lot more, because at this moment in time, we're in a bear market. So this is possibly the best time ever to do this. So for 5 years, you can get your domain space for like $28 as of today's date, which is the 27th of August, 2022. Okay, again, this will change. You will then also see what's known as a gas fee. In other words, the fee attached to your transaction. In this case, okay, it tells you what the fee is for registering this domain name, but that gas fee goes up and down, and that's why this number will change, right? Okay, so you must have enough Ethereum in your Ethereum-enabled browser wallet to pay the full cost, this cost, whatever it is, for the period of time. Remember, you had the MetaMask wallet, you've signed into it, and you've got a little bit of Ethereum to pay this. And you've connected that wallet, right? Because the minute you open it and sign into it, and you start this process, you will have connected your wallet. You see over here, you see a connected wallet. At the end of the process, you can click disconnect and you disconnect your wallet. It's so that you can pay and also be identified by your wallet address and not your personal name or criteria. That is giving you anonymity. Basically, that's the beauty of the crypto world. It's registered to a wallet address, not to you. So no one can track you down and you're at your home address or anything like that. And that's the beauty of, well, crypto. So let's make sure I've told you everything of value here. You can pay extra, of course, to register for additional years. Like I said, I do mine 5 years at a time. You can always choose to extend your registration period at another time. So you can choose 1 year, just experiment, and extend it later. So that's no problem. Okay. Step 5, what do we do now? Well, start the registration process. Click the blue request to register button on the bottom over here. A box should pop up from MetaMask because you've signed in, asking you to confirm the transaction. In other words, that's where you connect your wallet to the process. It will ask you, of course, to confirm it, to say, yeah, you're happy connecting to this Ethereum registration process, which you are. So you'd click request to register and click the confirm button, and then you'll move on in the process. Step 6, okay, now at this stage, it's very important to do what I'm discussing now. Do not close your browser because you will have canceled the transaction. What will happen is after clicking that register button from earlier on that we showed you, the blue one, this will start happening and will start growing, this green line, going through the steps automatically. In other words, and you just leave it alone and watch it. You see, you'll see it going, and then it'll just grow. It'll go through everything. And once it's finished, okay, the green bar in the middle of the screen will slowly advance across the screen to show that, you know, time is passing, but it's going to do its own thing, and you just leave it, let it do its own thing, okay? Number 7, and basically during this process where this green bar is going across, you're going to see TX pending, you know, transaction pending, and this will kind of cycle and it'll go through this green bar over here, basically meaning that it's checking if your domain name's intact, everything's fine, you've got enough in your wallet, you know, just going through the process. This is the pop-up that will happen once you've clicked the blue button I showed you earlier on. This one over here, when you click this, and you've registered, connected your MetaMask wallet, basically this pop-up comes in. You scroll to the bottom, you know, by using this, click over here, get to the bottom, and you then confirm it. And that's when this process will kick off. Okay, so that's really what happens, quite easy. And on this manager page where the register button will be, you'll see this transaction pending. Easy enough, isn't it? When you see this screen, select set as primary ENS name. That, of course, happens when the green bar is totally completed. You see this, you click set as primary ENS name to confirm the whole transaction. And then, well, once the transaction's confirmed, your name's registered. How difficult is that? Well, it's not too hard. Click the disconnect button. Don't forget, you'll disconnect your wallet from the Ethereum namespace app, and that is just a security measure, and you're done. You are now the proud owner of a new .eth namespace. Isn't that awesome? And of course, over here, you can read about and frequently answered on their site. They will tell you exactly what you can do with it, how you can connect and send your cryptocurrencies to your new name instead of a ridiculously long address. Fantastic. Well, it's time for questions and answers. We'll be taking some questions from our live room participants, of course. Over to you folks in the room, any questions that you may have. And of course, if you don't have live questions, that's fine. You can drop them in the questions tab in the room at any time about what you've heard now, and I'll answer that for you. So at any time, just ask your questions. Leslie says, pretty straightforward. Thanks. Yes, I've made it. Didn't I promise you, Leslie? That's what I said. We take complex information and make it as simple as this. That's exactly right. Leslie says, pretty straightforward. Cheryl says, should we use our real names? Great question, Cheryl. That's completely up to you, but don't give your whole surname or something like that. Just use something else. The whole idea is anonymity and ease. So use something creative that represents you, that you want people to send to. You can use your own name, but of course, if you do, then it's public, isn't it? You're publicly getting people to send to you. Now, if you want to, you can do that. Okay, it's totally up to you. I personally won't do that. I'm not going to use my name personally. I'll just use something that's easy to remember. Get creative about it. Yeah. Anna asks, so when I register my name, I register a wallet to trade any crypto within the wallet or only Ethereum? Anna, Ethereum is basically a network. That means that any crypto that is a ERC20 token, an ERC20 token, like USDC, for example, can be sent to your Ethereum address. Did you know that? You can send USDC to your Ethereum namespace address because it is an ERC20 token. So the take home is it has to be an ERC20 token. And most cryptos are, except of course Bitcoin, XRP, and others that have their own actual networks, their own blockchains. But like I said, the majority of cryptos are built on the Ethereum network. If you aren't sure, you can go to crypto.com. Type in, coinmarket.com, I beg your pardon, coinmarket.com, type in the name of your crypto, and on the page, you will see whether it has an Ethereum address and can be linked to your MetaMask wallet, and you'll know that it's an ERC20 token. If it doesn't, it will say BSC network or something else that isn't Ethereum. And if it is an ERC20 token, then yes, you can send it to your Ethereum new name. How cool is that? Yeah, there you go. So this is the question that Anne has asked has given you an eyes open moment. It is simplifying your entire crypto journey and experience, because most cryptos, not all, so you need to be sure that it is an ERC20 standard token, but most of them are. And again, if you go to coinmarketcap.com and type in the token that you're interested in or the crypto that you're interested in, it will come up, and on the page to the left, somewhere in the middle or so, you'll see whether its contract address is an Ethereum one. It will say so. If not, it will say BSC or Bitcoin, for instance, which is not an ERC20 token. Of course, it lives on its own network. So this is giving you utility in about 60% of the crypto world. And most people don't know that, but the new digital economy, like USDC, which is one of the biggest fiat dollar-based currencies, can be sent to your Ethereum address. What more do you want, right? And that's why this is an amazing special interest section and piece for you today. The utility here is incredible. You can register domain names now with your new name too, and instead of being a .com, it's a .eth. Okay, and the utility is huge and will allow you in future to operate in basically the digital economy that's been built now and just exploding into the future. So have yourselves a brilliant day then, if no more questions. But before I do that, if of course you do need help with anything in the investment criteria and information wise and crypto space and burgeoning assets, we're going to be covering many things in our room, like artificial intelligence opportunities, metaverse, and of course crypto is just the beginning. And if you need help, coaching is available. There's our website to look at us, Taz's catalog. You can see coaching hours. You can join our subscription service, and you can, of course, sign up for free to Cryptotunities on Twitter. You can send me an email at Taz of the Dark Pools, or you can look us up at Cryptotunities on YouTube too for all the kind of information you've heard now. Have yourself a brilliant rest of the day and hope you have a great week. Speak to you soon. This is Taz signing off. Thanks for joining us. Bye.